So you spoke about culture, like you referred culture, and I believe you worked in these different cultures, right? The first one would be a startup, a budding startup that's just got its funding. Another would
Mm,
be a startup that has not got funding, and one would be like a much larger company that is established,
mm.
that has like a very strong annual revenue. So it's like self-fulfilling sort of company. What are the cultural differences that you felt? And let's say for someone who wants to get into a company, right, he would have to, or she would have to look at all these three options.
Mm.
What's your take on each of these different cultures?
So, if you're asking me as a culture difference, I would give an example of my working with my working experience with Glitch
Yeah.
and my working experience with the product side of companies.
Right.
Okay, so working in Glitch was very, very tedious, to be
It
very
is an
honest.
agency, right? Glitch is an
It's an
agency.
agency. It's a digital agency. I think it got acquired by some other company recently, but it was a very budding, an upcoming digital agency. Like, I saw them grow from, I've seen them grow from 30 people. I would say I was some 20th or 24th person in that team, but it has grown from more than 200 people in quick span of time, like, 1 or 2 years. And it expanded to Delhi, Bangalore eventually. Uh, So agency life was always difficult, always difficult, where you have to manage 10 brands, 15 brands at a time, right? And you have to always come up with some constant creative thought to come up with that particular, post or a microsite or a design. You have to always be creative. So it's a very, 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 stressful environment, completely stressful environment. But you also learn a lot in the process about yourself also and about the team and how the working goes, how you can talk to the brand
Right.
manager, how the brands work, how much budget is allocated to the brand. So culturally, it's very difficult to work in an agency. It's a very tedious task. And there are
Mm.
timelines involved as well over there. But now I realized that I wanted to focus more on a product side, focus only on one product, give my wholehearted work to a product. Now here the culture difference was a little, I would say, more of digging into only one feature majority of your time. Again, that was also a very tedious task. That if
Mm.
this screen is right, or if that screen is right, or if this feature launch is right? Are we even actually making sense with this particular feature that we are trying to build or not? So that's
Mm.
where a lot of effort was going. But it was
Mm.
not as tedious as what we used to do in Glitch. But here it was more of a collaborative effort between your designers, developers, product managers, owners, everyone. So
Right.
culturally, if you see, there's a huge difference over here as well.
Yeah.
Here, for the fact that you are running with the constraint of your budget as well. You might lose out on funding sometimes. You might lose out on your audience sometimes. You might lose out on, for example, if you remember, we had hackathons as well. We used to sit in the night, we used to develop and then roll out on the next day. So it was a little fun to work in this set of environment sometimes. And then I realized that okay, product design and product working in a product oriented and a SaaS oriented company, that's where I see myself. Right. So
Interesting.
culturally, both of them are different that way.
Right.
But yeah, it makes sense to choose the right uh, culture fit as well. I mean, for the students also, like even for newbies who want to join, I think don't restrict yourself to kind of asking questions to the recruiter. I mean, throw questions to them also, like what do they do? How strong is your team? How big is your team? How what's their workflow basically? You should definitely ask these questions to them also, so that you also realize that okay, does it make sense for you to be a part of that culture or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, these set of questions you should definitely ask in your interviews as well.
Right.